Hello, welcome to the informed consent video for a pilot study to examine the effects of cryocompression pants on skeletal muscle recovery after an intense bout of resistance exercise. You may hear me say CCG study at times during the video. We're calling this the cryocompression garment study, and otherwise known as CCG. So I just want to let you know you may hear that at some point during the video. I'm going to go through the consent form with you in this video, but we also want you to read the consent form in detail, either download it or read it on your screen, and read every page carefully, so that way there are no questions about what your commitment to us will be should you choose to enroll, and you'll know all the procedures and protocols that we're going to do during the study. Okay, and if you have any questions during the actual video, please stop the video and write those down or type them up. So that way you can either email them to me, call me and ask me them, or ask me them in person when we see you for your baseline visit, which we will set up should you choose to enroll. Okay, so this is the consent form for research participation in the cryocompression garment study. Your participation is voluntary. You may or may not benefit as a result of participating in the study. What that means is we're going to pay you for participation in the study, the $100 that it'll discuss later. But the Institutional Review Board, the organization that governs human research here on campus, who has reviewed this consent form and this study and has said it's safe to do, they don't actually consider payment to participants as a direct benefit. So some of the benefits you may see are mostly knowledge, meaning you may gain some knowledge throughout the study with all of the things we're going to do in the study. And that knowledge that you'll gain is based on your current level of knowledge of exercise testing, and anything else we do in the study. So if you have a lot of knowledge of those items, then you're going to gain less than somebody that doesn't have any knowledge of those. If anything changes, we will tell you that. We'll explain it to you. If we have to change the consent form in any way, we'll do that. We'll get it approved by the IRB, and then we will reconsent you. If at that time you're not okay with any of the changes that we've made, that's perfectly fine. That's within your rights to tell us. And then you can just withdraw from the study at that time if you don't want to do those changes. The study is being done to investigate the effects of cryocompression pants that combine cooling and compression, so cryocompression therapy, on recovery of skeletal muscle following an acute bout of intense exercise. Here explains the pants. Please read that. There will be up to 24 adult men enrolled. We're going to have 16 participants complete this study. All testing will be done in the Pays building, on the ground floor. This is the inclusion criteria. You need to be active. You need to regularly incorporate barbell back squats into your workouts, and you need to be able to barbell back squat at least 1 times your body weight with a weighted barbell. Here are the exclusion criteria. Please read those carefully, because if you have one of those, unfortunately you would not be able to participate in this study. You'll need to verify your health status via a questionnaire, it's called PARQ. You'll come in, you'll fill that out in person, and that is a form that you are telling us that you're okay to participate in exercise. We're going to randomize and match you. What that means is we're going to do all the baseline visits, then we're going to match the participants based on age, height, weight, body composition, strength, power, and physical activity. And then we're going to randomize who's in which group. So there are 2 groups here. One will be assigned to the control group, and one will be assigned to the CCG group. And the CCG group are those that are going to wear the pants after the exercise. And before you enroll, we just have to make sure that you're aware that it is a randomization. So if you have a high preference for one group or the other, we have no control over which group you're going to be in. We're just going to use a randomization process that assigns you to either control or treatment. And we just hope that you'll stay in the study no matter what group you're in. So here's the study design. This gives a good overview of what's going to happen. There's going to be 16 participants. You need to be 18 to 30 years old, healthy and active, and recreationally trained. Before your baseline visit, we'll send you a 24-hour diet record. You will record your diet, food and drink for the entire day before the baseline visit for practice, and then you'll do that again before the testing visit, before the recovery visit, and before there's 2 recovery visits, so you'll do it before each recovery visit. During the baseline visit, I'll go over this, but what we're going to do is we are going to familiarize you with everything we're going to do in the study. We're going to have you practice the test, and then we're going to have you perform some of the tests, not all of them, but some of them, so that way we have the matching data that we need to match you. We'll also show you the pants and show you how to use them. We'll obtain your 1 repetition maximum on the barbell back squat, and we'll also obtain your body composition via skin folds. So during the testing visit, what will happen is you'll come in, we'll take so this is all before the exercise bout. What you'll do is you'll come in, you'll give a urine sample. We want to make sure you're hydrated there. So we'll measure your hydration, make sure you're hydrated. If you're not, you'll have to drink some water, and then we'll have to get another urine sample. So you may have to pee in a cup more than once. Then you'll sit for a couple minutes, 10 to 15, and we'll get a resting blood draw. During that time, during the sit time, we will administer some questionnaires, and then you'll get your resting blood draw, and I'll go over these a little bit later. Then what you'll do is you'll come in our testing room. We'll put you through a warm-up on a treadmill. So you'll just walk for 5 or so minutes. And then we'll put you through some dynamic stretches. And then you'll do what's called the quick board. You'll do some squat jumps. That's what SQJ stands for. You'll do counter movement jumps. That's what CMJ stands for. And then you'll do the exercise bout. The exercise bout includes squats, deadlifts, and eccentric leg curls. Then right after the exercise bout, we'll take what's called an immediate post or IP blood draw. And then whoever's in the CCG group will put on the compression pants, the cryocompression pants, and the control group will just sit for 20 minutes. The CCG group will wear the pants for 20 minutes. After those 20 minutes, for both groups, we'll then do the quick board, the squat jumps, the counter movement jumps, and questionnaires again. And then we'll also get a blood draw. I'm sorry, let me go back. At plus 20 and plus 40 minutes, all of the groups will do the quick board, the squat jump, the counter movement jump, the questionnaires, and then at plus 60 minutes, that's when we do the next blood draw. You also do the questionnaires at plus 60 minutes, the quick board, the squat jump, and the counter movement jump. So that's one test day. And then you'll also come back in for 2 recovery days, which you see here, plus 24, plus 48. So you'll come in for those 2 days immediately, after the testing visit. So plus 24 hours and plus 48 hours after this test visit. So the next day and then the next day. And what we'll do there is we'll do a blood draw. You'll do the questionnaires again. The compression group will wear the pants, the cryocompression pants, for 20 minutes. The control group will just sit for 20 minutes. Then after that 20-minute time, we'll do the quick board again, and we'll do the 2 jumps, the squat jump and the counter movement jump. So that's the overall study design. And what I'll do now is I'm going to go through that in much more detail. So there are 4 visits, 1 baseline visit, and then 3 testing visits. There's test visit 1 is when you'll do the acute bout of exercise, as well as everything else I just explained. Test visit 2 is a recovery day, so you'll come in 24 hours after for the next day. And then test visit 3 is 48 hours the next day after that. The baseline visit will take approximately 1.5 hours. Test visit 1 will take about 2.5 hours, and test visits 2 and 3 will take about an hour. We'll have you record your 24-hour diet record, and that takes approximately an hour. So for you, it's approximately an 8-hour time commitment to us to be in this study. At the baseline visit, like I was saying, we will familiarize you with everything you're going to do. You're going to practice the testing, and then you'll perform some of the tests. In addition, we'll get your 1 RM on the back squat, and we'll also determine your body composition using skin folds. We'll familiarize you with the blood draws, but we won't actually take blood during the baseline visit. Here's a nice bulleted form of what we're going to do. This explains the 1 repetition barbell back squat test. This explains the skin folds. We're going to take 7 sites and then use a formula to calculate your body composition. This explains the diet and nutrition. So the day before your baseline visit, you'll need to record all your food and fluids that you ingest, including water, and we'll send you the diet logs to do that, as well as detailed instructions on how to do it, what we're looking for. You'll also need to eat the same food and drink the same fluids that you recorded before your baseline visit the day before test visit 1 and 2 and 3, right? And so what we'll do is we'll have you record it. We'll make sure everything's great. If there needs to be adjustments, we'll do that at the baseline visit. And then most likely what will happen is you'll record it for test visit 1, you'll replicate it for test visit 2, and then you'll replicate it again before test visit 3. In addition, you'll come in fasted, which means no food or drink except water 12 hours prior to each visit. And so there'll be a certain time before you go to bed where you won't be able to drink or eat anything except water, and then you'll come in and you'll be fasted throughout the test visit as well. You also won't be able to exercise for 72 hours before your testing visits, which means there'll be roughly 5 days where you won't be able to do any exercise outside of this study. So 3 days before your test visit, not your baseline visit, but before your test visit, you'll need to refrain from all exercise because that'll affect our blood markers. And then you'll come in for your test visit, and then you'll come in for your test visit 2, and then test visit 3. So for those 5 days, you won't be able to participate in any exercise except for what we do in the study. Okay, for test visit 1, what you'll do is you'll come in, you'll confirm that you're in adherence to the study parameters. We'll confirm that you're at a minimum level of hydration, so you'll need to provide a urine sample. Again, if you're not at the minimum level of hydration we need you to be at, you'll drink some water, you'll sit, and then you'll have to give another urine sample. And you'll do that until we get you to the level of hydration we need you to be at. After the urine hydration test, we will measure your height and weight. We'll also have you sit for 10 to 15 minutes so that way your body can come back to rest. During that time, we're going to review your diet record. We'll review your physical activity exercise questionnaire with you. We'll administer the questionnaires, so the McGill pain questionnaire, the sleep scale, the shortened profile mood states, the muscle pain and soreness questionnaire, and you'll practice those during the baseline visit. After the 10 to 15 minutes, a trained phlebotomist, that's a person who's trained in drawing blood, will come in and take your resting blood draw. We're going to use a straight stick, also known as a butterfly needle. So the needle goes in, we take the blood, the needle comes out, and then you go about and do what you need to do. After the exercise blood draw, you'll do a warm-up. We'll put you through some dynamic stretches as well, and then you'll perform the QuickBoard. So the QuickBoard is a platform that sits on the ground. It has 5 sensors. We also have an iPad that you'll look at, which has a replication of the 5 sensors, and depending on the drill, so whether it's the reaction drill, the count drill, or sequence drill, will determine how you do the test. So we'll explain all that during the baseline visit. We'll have you practice it. We'll have you perform it. All 3, so the reaction drill, the count drill, and the sequence drill. After the QuickBoard test, we will administer the jumps. So you'll do a squat jump test. What you'll do there is you'll go down to a parallel 90-degree angle. You'll start here, you'll go down here, and then you'll jump in the air. And you'll do that a couple times, 3 most likely. And then we'll have you do what's called counter movement jumps. That is where so here you pause, you go down and pause, and then you jump up. Here you just go down and jump up, and you'll do that 3 consecutive times for 3 sets. And we'll show you all that during the baseline visit. We'll have you practice those, and then we'll have you perform them. After the jump test, you'll perform a bout of high-intensity resistance exercise. So you'll do barbell back squats, 4 sets, 6 reps at 80% with a 1.5-minute rest. And then you'll do barbell stiff-legged deadlifts, and you'll do 4 sets at 8 reps at 1 times your body weight with 60 seconds rest in between each set. And then you'll do eccentric leg curls, and you'll do 4 sets at 10 reps with 45-second rest in between each set. And this shows you what the eccentric leg curls look like. Again, we'll show you all those during the baseline visit and get you familiar with them. After the last set of the exercise bout, you'll sit down and a phlebotomist will come in and take what's called the immediate post-blood draw. Again, we're going to be using the straight stick needles, so it goes in, comes out right away, nothing stays in your arm. And there will be about 6 mils of blood taken at each blood draw. Immediately after that IP blood draw, you'll get your treatment. So whether that's the compression garment pants or whether it's just whatever you're wearing at the time. So if you're in the control group, you'll just keep on what you're wearing. If you're in the CCG group, you'll put on the compression pants at this time. After changing into your respective treatment, you'll sit for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you'll remove the garment, and then we'll administer more questionnaires. And then you'll perform, after the questionnaires, you'll perform the QuickBoard test again and the jump test again. And then again, you'll sit for 20 minutes. So there's a plus 20 and there's a plus 40. And then at the plus 40, we'll again administer the questionnaires and you'll perform the QuickBoard test and the jump test. Then you'll sit again for 20 minutes, and then at plus 60 minutes, we'll do the same thing. At plus 60, a trained phlebotomist will come in and take your blood draw again. So we have a plus 60 blood draw. And you'll need to stay in the laboratory the entire time. You also need to remain seated except for when we're having you do things. So you wouldn't be able to walk around too much, but you will be able to go to the bathroom as needed. You can also bring in whatever you need to occupy your time. You can use your computer, listen to music, sleep, or do anything else that's pre-approved. After the last blood draw, again, we'll administer the questionnaires, and then you'll perform the QuickBoard test and the jump test. And then we'll just verify your next visit. So you'll come in the next day for test visit 2, and then the next day after that for test visit 3. At these 2 visits, you'll do the same thing. So you'll come in, and we'll confirm adherence. You'll give a urine sample for hydration. We'll measure your height and weight. You'll sit for 10 to 15 minutes. We'll administer some questionnaires during that time. After the 10 to 15 minutes sit time, so that your body can come back to rest. A phlebotomist will come in and take a resting blood draw. Those that are in the CCG group will then put on the pants for 20 minutes. Those that are in the control group will just sit for 20 minutes. And then after those 20 minutes, you'll perform the quick board test again and the jump test again. So those are the testing visits. That's everything we're going to do in the testing visits. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you write those down. This explains the blood draw. So we're going to take 6 mils of blood at each time point. There's 5 total time points. They're listed there. And therefore, we're going to take approximately 30 mils of blood for the entire study, which is a very little amount of blood when you think about it. Here's the length of the study. So you'll be in the study for approximately 11 days. There's 4 testing visits. I went over those. In addition, you'll need to fill out your 24-hour diet record, and you'll get sent the link for the physical activity questionnaire before the baseline visit. So you'll fill those out before the baseline visit. Here's a nice table that breaks down your time commitment. So it's a total of 8 hours if you're in the cryocompression group, and it's 7 hours if you're in the control group. Here's an example of how it will work. And just for your information, we need to get this done before Thanksgiving. So we have to get everybody in for their baseline visits and all of their testing visits before we break for Thanksgiving. You can always stop being in the study. There are risk, side effects, and discomforts. It does pose minimal risk, but it's not zero. So we need to let you know that there are some risks. With anything you do in life, there's risks, and this is no different. In addition, we are putting you through an intense exercise bout, so that increases the risk. But we minimize the risk as much as we can. The way we do that is all of the research personnel, everybody that's going to be working with you during the study, will be trained very, very well on everything we do in the study. We'll also familiarize you with everything in the study, have you practice everything. That also helps reduce the risk. And we have an AED down the hall. Hopefully we never have to use that. We also can call 911 and they respond very, very quickly. So if you were injured, that would hopefully reduce any lasting effects from the injury. However, if you are injured during the study, we don't have funds set aside, nor does OSU have funds set aside to pay for any injuries that happen during research studies. So that would have to be paid by your own insurance. So whether you have a student health plan or some other plan, that is the way it would have to be paid for. So I just want to make sure you're very clear on that. The benefits, I went over those. One thing you will have your 1 repetition maximum on the barbell back squat. You may also learn more effects about cryocompression and how that affects skeletal muscle recovery after an intense bout of resistance exercise. And you may increase your overall knowledge of exercise and exercise testing. Currently, there are no other choices to take part in the study except to be a participant. Your information will always be protected with the utmost confidentiality. We only release your information on a need-to-know basis, and the people that need to know are those that are on the IRB. So the research personnel, the principal investigator, and any co-investigators that are listed on the IRB. However, these individual organizations can make us disclose information about you and your participation in the research study. They would have to do that through a court order, but if they did, we would have to comply with that court order. We'll have anything with your name on it in a separate place with anything that has your participant number on it. However, there is a master list, so we need to know who's who at some point during the study. And so that master list will be in digital and hard copy form. Anything that's in digital form, so on a computer, will be password protected, and it will be on a password protected computer. And then anything that is printed out in hard copy will be in a locked room in a locked file cabinet. There are no costs to participate in the study per se, but if you don't have an OSU parking pass, you would either have to find free parking or pay for parking to participate. You are going to get paid $100, and we just have to let you know by law those payments are taxable. If you're injured in the study, I went over that. Your rights, you're not giving up any of your rights to participate. You can discontinue at any time. You'll be provided any new information that develops. If we change the consent form, again, we'll reconsent you. And the Institutional Review Board, the individuals that are responsible for making sure that everything we do is safe and it's safe for you to participate, have approved this. And Dr. Kramer is the principal investigator on this study. And you can certainly contact Dr. Kramer if you have any questions or concerns, or you can contact one of the research team members, whichever you're more comfortable contacting, and we could then relay the information or the question or concern to Dr. Kramer. And that's it as far as the consent form. So, excuse me. There is a question of photographs and videos, so we may or may not take photographs or videos during the study. We just need to know if we have your permission to do so. And just so you know, if you do give your permission, they may end up in a publication or a scientific presentation. Those are a permanent record. We're not going to ever put your name in those items, but your picture will be there. All right, and then you'll sign the consent form when you come in. I'll have 2 copies for you. You'll sign one and keep one. I'll sign it as well, or somebody from the research staff will sign it saying they've obtained your consent. So you'll have a copy, and we'll have a copy, and we'll also have you fill out a couple more forms, such as the Part Q, when you come in for your baseline visit. So that's it for the consent video. Again, if you have any questions, hopefully you wrote those down, and you can just email them to me or call me or ask them when you come in for your baseline visit. So the next thing to do would be to go to the link that I sent you in an email and sign up for your baseline visit. Again, we need to get you in here as quickly as possible or as soon as possible, so that way we can get the study completed before Thanksgiving. The earlier the better. And in the baseline visit sign-up, just provide all the times that you can come in. That way we can schedule you all. So there will be 16 of you, and if we can work out the logistics so that everybody can come in over the next week, that would be great. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or call me. It's dupont.35@osu.edu. That's dupont.35@osu.edu. My phone number is 614-783-0688. 614-783-0688.